dripping like Fiji, watch him slide. I can't keep it PG all the time. I don't like
yo, what's good? What's happening? Take two, but you don't know that for now. But this your boy Chris Jay. Glad to be back. Got the boy Trellsav.
Yo.
And of course you listen to
should I tell them that I got in take two? Should I tell them I got almost smacked by Darius Garland and Colin Sexton?
Feel free.
Almost lost to Darius Garland and Colin Sexton.
Yeah, that's just nasty. The fact that
I saw Larry Nance Jr. out there. I was just so confused.
Larry Nance Jr. is broken on 2K for some goofy reason. I don't know. Every time I play against that nigga, that nigga be jumping out the sky, and then I guess now he can shoot threes. I don't know when, but he can shoot threes now. But it is what it is. It be that way sometimes. 2K be on some good bullshit sometimes. But, of course, you listen to Threes from the Ring. Shout out to whatever platform you listen to us on, whether it's YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Greatly appreciate all of that as well, because you guys are definitely checking out the teams. And whatever platform you listen to, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, feel free to do the same. Hit that follow, subscribe button. I greatly appreciate those teams. And also, shout out to the few people who we did pop up on your Spotify most listened to list. That's love. That's definitely love right there. Just seeing that made my heart just like, hey man, that so makes me want to keep going. We got to keep going at this. So shout out to those that we did make it on, because that's a huge deal. Because hey, especially on Spotify, I know we get listens on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts is really inconsistent with it, but just knowing we get listens on Spotify means a lot to me. But we appreciate you guys either way. Make sure you get you some You Tweaking Media merch as well. We are on Teespring. Just search You Tweaking Media. We will pop up, and you can get you a t-shirt, hoodie, long sleeve, whatever. We got it for you, so make sure you cop. Be on the lookout for any recent deals, but in the meantime, support the brand and pay full price, because hey, we got lives and we got stuff to pay for. But anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to do it a little differently this week, because basketball is going to probably be a bulk of this episode. So with that being said, we're going to go deep dive right into wrestling first. Last week was a really fun, long week for wrestling. A lot has happened, especially outside of WWE, but shout out to AEW, NXT. Y'all took a bulk of the news, even though WWE got back in this week as well. But last week, we do have something to talk about when it comes to AEW, and that is the return of Sting. Sting has signed the long-term, as he said tonight on Dynamite, that he's there for AEW for the long term. So he is signed with AEW. It looks like he plans on competing. So shout out to that Pringles neck. But he made his debut last week during the Winter Takeover, Winter's Coming event, and where he popped up, looked at niggas, and sat there and walked off, or the show went off air. So Sting's on AEW. I had a talk with a few people. Some people say Sting is cool. Some people say we good on Sting in 2020. People say AEW's in a WWE bag in terms of bringing old niggas to take TV time from young people. So, but your thoughts, G?
It's trash. But hey, niggas like Sting. He's there now. What can we say? But it's garbage. Nobody wants to see Sting wrestle. People say he might not wrestle. He literally has a record at the bottom of his name on an AEW website. So he most likely will be wrestling. If his first shoot is Cody Rhodes, this is you fighting. Your first shoot is against AEW's Triple H. You have to hold that. So
that's a lot of credit.
The big plan was, if Sting catches a belt before Neville, MJF, just a bunch of guys, Hangman Page, a bunch of guys who everybody loves watching, getting used to on AEW. If Sting takes a belt before those dudes, that says something. So, hey, it is what it is. If people don't want to believe, it's TNA Light. It's TNA Light with a little bit of more flipping. I will guarantee if Kurt Angle get out of his long ass WWE contract, he will be in AEW. He probably will jump on the suits too. He get his man. If Ric Flair bled for TNA when he so called retired.
He did
So
bleed for TNA.
no, you know, Sting making a business decision. I doubt if he come and say it, I was dead wrong by. I think he already did say he was dead wrong by WWE.
Yeah, he did.
It is what it is. If he goes with that route, then he already got the WWE guy promo. But there's new stars that you can push. I'm not trying to sound like that because that goes on both ends of any company that's out right now. And I understand big names bring in more people, but, and I say this lightly, big names such as probably like The Rock, Steve Austin, Brock, maybe Goldberg, even though I don't like seeing Goldberg wrestle. But Sting, you got hardcore. The Taker don't even bring the niggas in like he want to, just them Saudi niggas. So, yeah, that's my little take on it. Look, man, AEW try your best to, I guess, compete with NXT by bringing legends. I don't freaking know, but just keep going. I just do think there's a lot of just young talent there that's amazing and that could be used, but they're not used. So that's my thing. Just like somebody like my favorite wrestler on AEW, Pac. Somebody like him should be feuding with Cody instead of Sting. If Sting feuds with Cody, I don't fucking know. Hangman is the most beloved babyface in that company, hands down. Even more loved than Dean Ambrose. That's like, what's the difference from the E? You know, some old nigga from WCW taking somebody's spot. That happens. But shout out to my man Kenny Omega being the first non-WWE guy to hold the AEW championship.
You gotta give him credit.
Give him credit, man. He's the first, even though he appeared on WWE television before, so. But he's the first non-WWE guy to win that championship. Congratulations. Hopefully you'll continue your reign. Probably won't, to tell you the truth. The funny thing is he most likely will be a transitional champion because Kenny Omega don't pop like that. But yeah, I know you probably want to talk about that Impact shit that I didn't watch. So
I didn't watch it either, but with the Sting, I watched it briefly. I recorded it actually. I just haven't watched it yet. I was home all day. But with the Sting stuff, like, it's cool. Like, it's clearly a ratings draw, but you've been winning a ratings war, so it's like whatever. So it's like, and once again with the ratings thing, it's still whatever. This ain't freaking 96 and 90 through 99 no more. So it don't really matter. And plus, a lot of stuff comes on TV anyway. For example, NTV's The Challenge is back on TV. So your ratings are crap right then and there. And a lot of people watch them.
Cam just showed us a video of iCarly coming back.
iCarly's coming back. See? So, but literally, stuff is coming back to TV or TV stuff or literally, so deal with it. But in terms of just like Sting and himself, like say he's an icon, he's a legend, regardless who exceeds whatever company he's on. So regardless how you view or feel about Sting, people's gonna be drawn to it. Well, how they feel about AEW. But do I want to see Sting wrestle in 2020? No. Do I want to see him wrestle AEW style wrestling in 2020? And AEW style wrestling involves death matches. If you've seen most Dean Ambrose matches, it involves a lot of, as some people will call it, car crash style of wrestling. So is Sting capable of being able to do that? No. Last time we seen Sting wrestle in a WWE ring, which was the 2-3 matches he had, he literally ended up his neck turned to a box of Pringles. Well, a pack of Pringles. So we good. I don't want to see that man die or worse in the ring. Maybe he got decent neck surgery, but the man is 60. He is 60 years old. He is old. It's okay to pack it up. You had a
him.
nice.
He's older than
He's older than Taker.
Goldberg.
I thought, ain't he like older than
He's
Taker?
also older than Taker.
Yeah, and he's older than Goldberg. So it's like unless like if it's cool to see him just randomly be up in the stands and stuff. Okay, cool, and pop in and pop out. But in terms of just actually wrestle matches, I'm good.
Good question. Will it be homo if I get a glizzy while playing Cyberpunk?
Yes.
Okay, won't be ordering from Maxwell's. But I'm sorry, that was like a three. I mean,
That's a legit question, G.
But I ain't want to, we family men on this podcast. Family men. We about getting that paper.
Exactly.
That's it. But yeah.
But yeah.
I don't. But you know me. I don't care, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I don't. Like, never care when Goldberg did his snug dizzle. Never care. I never watched the Goldberg versus Braun Strowman match at Mania. I went to the bathroom and purposely stayed there until that match was over. So if I lied on Threes of the Ring about reviewing that match, I probably didn't lie because I probably said it was ass. And apparently Goldberg and Roman are gonna have a thing soon.
And we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that shortly. But yeah. And I'm good on that.
I'm not the biggest. Look, Taker was in my top 5. You wanna know why Taker probably not in my top 5 no more? White wing as fuck. He proud of it.
Very proud.
Popped on the shirt with a Blue Lives Matter. He's proud of it. And the Saudi matches. The Saudi matches was ass. And I had to watch it. And when he came out with a bald head. Man, come on, nigga. What's a weave? But those.
But yeah, so it is what it is when it comes to Sting. It's wait and see, but it will bring in the I barely watch wrestling crowd and be like, oh, it's Sting on AEW. I'm gonna check it out. Those type of people. In terms of the 90s was the greatest time in wrestling. So Monday Night Wars was the greatest time in wrestling. Those people. So shout out to AEW getting those people. Anyway, then also AEW. Dang, we actually gave AEW more than 5 minutes. But hey, you guys gave us wrestling content to talk about. Then same night, Kenny Omega defeats Dean Ambrose in a solid little match, and which ended in a nasty finish. But if you knew what it was going to happen, it was time for Dean. It was John Moxley to lose that belt anyway. I think he had it for almost a little more than a year, almost at this point, close to a year. So it was time for him to lose that belt. So the Impact vice president, what he is, was involved in the match, and which led to John Moxley losing. Kenny Omega won. They rush out the arena. Classic. This sucks. I really watched old Nitros, WCW recently, and also old wrestling sometimes as well. It just had that vibe of when they ran out the ring and to the parking lot and to the car. It screamed classic. This is old school wrestling vibes right here. Solely because the fact that they ran out, the interviewer just happened to catch them right before the limo and say, why did this happen? And then they give you a reason to tune in next week. And this time, instead of tuning in to AEW, they chose to tune in to Impact Wrestling. So I think a lot of people who was like, oh, I'm curious what's about to happen. They about to do an Impact Wrestling and Impact Wrestling AEW partnership, which is pretty cool and neat to see if this so does happen, even though it's still being teased. Nothing seems official yet, but we're pretty much about to see that. What I did watch from Impact, the little bit, I did just catch a clip on it, but I won't watch the whole episode. Pretty much, and it wasn't much either. They just literally just said, I'm just here because I want to do X, Y, and Z. Nothing too major. Just talking the gang of shit. Kenny Omega just sounded topping off what himself pretty much. But if they do so decide to have a AEW Impact Wrestling thing, it'd be cool to see Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann. It'd be neat to see a black dude probably whip his ass, but it's not going to happen. But it is what it is when it comes to that. That's all I can really talk about with that. Shout out to Kenny Omega just doing something that's getting the wrestling world going. So that's it in terms of that. Going quickly to WWE, we will talk about TakeOver shortly. Goldberg is pretty much got on the bump and pretty much said Roman Reigns stole my finisher. I'm still mad at that little nigga. We don't care at this point. Bro, the amount of people that have used the spear since you've been in wrestling and since you left wrestling, it's still an absurd.
Okay, let me tell you something. Goldberg, top 5 spear, right? He ain't won. I don't think he's 5.
Top 3.
He probably like 3.
Top 3.
Okay, so you can't go around and, you know, your spear is comparable to Bobby Lashley when he felt like it, you know? But who would be the top 5 spear? You go Edge 1, because Nemming almost lost his neck because of it. So you gotta get Edge 1.
And he's smaller too, so that makes it just more devastating how he uses it.
So Edge 1, who would be 2?
You got to put the gore. I put respect on the gore. The gore is a spear, technically. I respect the gore.
Oh, you talking about
Rhino?
Rhino?
Yeah, I respect the spear.
Okay.
So honestly, I'll put the spear number 1.
So
I mean the gore number 1.
3.
So yeah, so I'm putting the gore number 1, Edge, Goldberg.
Shit, Batista still wasn't that bad either.
Batista's was really good, but I'm not putting him. He'll be 5. He'll be 5. 4, I'm putting Bobby Lashley. Just put a black man because it was his specialty for. It was his legit special for. I would call it his legit special because I hated the Dominator with a passion. I hate the Dominator as a finishing move as a whole. I think that's if we ever do top wrestling finishers, Dominator is probably gonna be my number 1 or 2. But I'm putting Bobby Lashley's up there because when motivated, like you said, it's a really good finisher. But yeah, if Roman Reigns is getting
when Bobby Lashley came back,
yeah,
and the nigga had a delayed suplex as his finisher.
It definitely was that, and I'm like, I was.
Fuck this man.
This man really ain't shit sometimes. That's all I can really say. But Goldberg is angry because even though lots of people use the spear, he's angry. Even though he's picking on Roman about it. But if I was gonna also keep it a G, he technically finished more people with the jackhammer than he did the spear. The spear was just the hey, let's get the crowd going. Then let me show my feet of strength and jackhammer you. Pause. But he's angry. He got on a bump. So clearly they're trying to sell this message of, hey, we need people to watch Goldberg and Roman Reigns go at each other. Me, honestly, I'm good on it. I don't want to see a 5-minute rush, but it be that way. They're going to probably do it. Keep it away from far from Mania. If it happens at Mania, it's going to be a waste of Roman's time. But, hey, it is what it is. But if we're going to get this match... It
was the original plan for this Mania.
I know. But I still don't want to see that shit. I didn't want to see it this year. But if we're going to get it...
I'm telling you it's going to happen at Mania.
It probably will. That's why I'm going to be a little bit more disappointed. But if we're going to get this, I'd rather see this version of Roman do it than last year, earlier this year Roman. This Roman is literally going to whoop his ass and talk a gang of shit. Probably not even going to no-sell the nigga, just to be more hilarious about it. I would hope he no-sells Goldberg. So, if we do get the match, I just want Roman to beat his ass all 5-7 minutes. Let Goldberg get maybe 1 minute of offense in, but like I said, let Roman no-sell that shit. And then don't even spear him. Choke that nigga. Choke him. And that's it. I'll be satisfied. Because I already know it's going to be a 5-7 minute match. Probably be 3. But overall, I'm good. Roman did respond on Twitter and told that man, look, I'm the attraction. I pick who I want to fight. And right now, I pick Kevin Owens. I'm good on you, Brody. That was hilarious. Very hilarious. So we'll see when this happens. Hopefully it's not Mania. Hopefully I'm good on it. But yeah, we'll see where this goes overall. But let's go ahead and talk about NXT Takeover War Games. I should have that like queued up.
War Games.
War Games. All right, let me pull up the you dig. But the women's opened it, right? I believe the women opened. I believe they opened. So, but no, they didn't.
They opened it.
No, they did. No, they didn't. It was the the Republican Latin Kings versus who the hell are these niggas?
That's pre-show.
Oh, I didn't know they do pre-show. But the Republican Latin Kings won. Let's put it that way. So, Escobar, Santos, and Mendoza. So, moving on, women's War Games match. Shout out to Team Candice LeRae, Team Shotzi Blackheart. They gave us another slapper of 35 minutes of slap. We had nice little cheeks all over the ring. Shout out to Ember Moon and Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm for giving us nice cheeks action in the ring. But it was a really fun match. Really good match. Candice LeRae broke her arm, supposedly, but she didn't. I don't think she had a sling on NXT tonight. So, I don't know what's up with that. We'll see where it goes from there.
I think NXT is taped.
I think it's live now.
Either way it goes, she got a legit broken arm. They saying that's like a couple weeks.
Oh, well, either way, she has a fracture in her arm, but she was on NXT. I didn't see a sling, but she had long sleeves on. She probably had a thin ass brace. Who knows? But Candice LeRae got injured during the match, but it's a War Games match. Somebody's gonna get hurt, so it's expected. But really fun match. Shout out to Io Shirai giving me my favorite meme to end the year that I'm trying to get trending with her jumping off the cage with the trash can, because it's just showing that trash is about to land on you straight up. But really fun match, great, not nice, lots of spots, and shout out to Raquel Gonzalez getting that moment by pinning the champion, because Raquel Gonzalez probably got next, and hopefully this is the last time we see Rhea Ripley as well on NXT. Not to say we don't want her there no more, but it's time. It's about that time. But your thoughts?
Asuka needs an opponent,
and Asuka needs somebody fresh, because I'm good on her just finding random jobber to tag with for the month. But yeah, your thoughts on the match?
Really good match. Liked it. Started off a little slow. Liked it. The heel team winning, which never happens really. So shout out to that. I really can't say that. A lot of views came out from that. A lot of people looked at like $1 million. I kind of feel like Io Shirai was doing that because they really had nothing to do with her at that time. Because this was Shotzi Blackheart's team. And the champion was a subordinate on her team. So I know they just threw Io Shirai because they had to do something with her. But Shotzi Blackheart is going to be a mega star.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely going to be one of NXT. And most likely going to be one on that main roster. For some apparent reason, Triple H is in love with her. And look, she ain't bad in my eyes. Until you found out she used to send people pictures of her shit. But, yeah, I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed it kind of hit hard. It was a little, like I said, a little slow pace, especially, a lot of getting jumped on, stuff like that, a lot of bringing weapons in the ring. But I grew to love it, and especially towards the end, it got a little popping. Was it better than last year's? No. Last year being the spectacle, being the only women's one, hell no, it wasn't better. But it was good, so.
Yeah, definitely agree. But yeah, so shout out to that. Then Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher. Ciampa's going on I guess a revenge tour against all the new popping mid carders, up and coming niggas in NXT. and Timothy Thatcher was the victim of this week. Decent match. Not surprised that Ciampa went over. My main thing is what direction is this going to lead to with Ciampa, because it's like, okay, you won, and like tonight he fought Cameron Grimes, which was a decent little match. But I'm just trying to figure out what's the direction of Ciampa instead of being the angry old head attacking the young guns, because that's literally his character right now.
Disappointed at Ciampa won. I don't like Timothy Thatcher. Hits hard. He could be the heel or face with his demeanor and his swagger.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. It's like that strong style that Shinsuke Nakamura had to stop doing because he didn't want to become a pack of bones. So, but having my nigga Ciampa win, so ass.
Yeah,
I don't know what's this man fear of. Somebody made a good comparison, right? And we'll get to Johnny Gargano later, but somebody made a good comparison about Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa not wanting to leave, right? You don't want to get lost in the shuffle, understand. Johnny Gargano stays relevant in NXT.
He does a good job. He reinvented his character.
When he does, he stays freaking relevant. He's in NXT main card right now, extremely relevant. When he was in that main event scene, extremely over and relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Tommaso Ciampa was champion, run. Very run. And I like Ciampa. It's just that, like,
he peaked.
You know, I'm black, another uber right wing nigga, but it's like it ain't my stilo right now.
Yeah, definitely agree. But yeah, I definitely agree. I'm way over on Timothy Thatcher. He's probably gonna be a future NXT champion soon. He's Chris Benoit. He has a very Chris Benoit type style with mic skills, actually. With mic skills. And probably won't brutally murder his family. But I have to throw that in there. But it's just something I'm interested to see where this goes from here. Because even when Ciampa was fighting Cameron Grimes, Thatcher was outside the ring watching the whole time. So clearly it's not over with yet. So we'll see where this goes from here. But still a solid match. I'm not mad at Ciampa winning, but it's just, where are you going from here with it? Next, Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes in a strap match. Dexter Lumis, fire. Decent match. Shout out to Dexter Lumis getting over. I'm just waiting for him to get his North American title shot at this point.
My favorite moment of that match is when Cameron Grimes brung his own strap out.
Paul.
And then the referee asks, "Are you okay with this?" And then Dexter Lumis was like, Dexter Lumis stan, okay?
With a high.
Stan.
This is a Dexter Lumis podcast, approved podcast.
Stan, bro. Literally stan, bro. I am a Dexter Lumis stan, bro.
Like, my man's is a vibe, G. He's legit a vibe. So, but interested to see where they go next. I'm hoping that him and Gargano go at it next. I'm hoping that this leads to that. But next, Gargano, Damian Priest, and Leon Ruff. I legit enjoyed the hell out this match. Really fun match. NXT does such a great job with triple threat matches. Even though we see them often, they consistently do a good job just making sure all three competitors stay involved in the match in some capacity for at least most of the match. Because most of the time it's just one-on-one. They take turns being one-on-one in any other company, especially WWE. I hate that. But I like how they actually just keep it going where all three are involved. Fun match. It was fun just seeing Damian Priest play the middleman in terms of this, because there was times where he was like, look, Leon Ruff, you're in my goddamn way. And how they also got him out the paint at the beginning of the match was hilarious as well. But it showed his heart about Leon Ruff and just the fact, nigga, you still a jobber at the end of the day. Gargano went over, especially once they really made Damian Priest look strong though. Like, that was one thing I think they really wanted to get over, was that he's legit a threat. But Gargano legit going over, I'm not mad at, especially because just I guess they have bigger plans with Damian Priest and Leon Ruff. If he got over, I've been like, hey, that's cool. Shout out to a black man holding on for the North American belt for a little bit longer, but I'm not mad at Gargano going on, especially the way he did, especially bringing Austin Theory back with the Scream character and all of that, ganging up on niggas. So literally, also Gargano has a covenant. He won because of his covenant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
he did have a group of niggas in all black. But that sequence was fire.
It was.
With Daniel. One of them big ass Scream niggas, I thought that was Mario Judah. I swear to God I did, bro. I swear to God I thought one of them big Scream niggas was Mario Judah. I was in a party watching it with the homie. I was like, is that fucking Mario Judah? I was like, who the fuck is he? But you know, he wore that Cape in the Roll Loud concert and shit. I was like, who the fuck is he? Jeez. But I enjoyed that match. When them big Mario Judah niggas came out and he just started flipping over the ropes, I'm like, this nigga Damian Priest a goddamn jumping John Redcorn, folks. And it was fire. It was fire.
Yeah.
Also him just fucking slinging Leon Ruff and temporarily injuring him was good. I did not know Johnny Gargano was going to win. I did not think they was going to make him a 3-time North American champion, but it's Johnny Gargano. It's Gucci.
He don't want to go. He don't want to leave.
Yeah. He wants to be an NXT legend. And he will be. Because if Vince McMahon see that man on his main roster, he's getting...
You know, hey, 205 Live, that nigga getting sent 205 Live 2 months after being on the main roster. Niggas gonna be hurt and devastated.
Look, 205 Live had potential when Neville was there, bro. It had potential. And then they fucked it up with Enzo. And then just went down. Well, not downhill, because you had the Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy shit, which was really good. But then you brought them niggas up, and now it's just like the Scene Brothers and Swerve. I don't care, Swerve decent.
Swerve cool. Even though they about to do something interesting with him and Jake Atlas, it seems like after NXT tonight. But yeah, so moving on.
Jake Atlas built like me though.
Bro.
Jake Atlas is literally built like me. I swear to God. I'm built like a black Jake Atlas.
Hey.
No cap.
Hey.
But yeah, I guess. Move on, Chris.
Yeah, so Undisputed Era versus Team McAfee War Games. Really, really fun match. Really fun match. Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly started it off and gave us that shit. Then as just more niggas got involved, it was just that shit. But Pat McAfee's, damn, bro, he's probably the greatest. He's gonna go down as the greatest guest celebrity wrestler of all time.
Is he even a guest celebrity wrestler right now? That nigga cold.
It's probably disrespectful to
in the Kurt Angle category, G. Niggas who never wrestled in their life and just became a natural. You threw him up. Like, damn.
He's undisputed. He's legit undisputed. Like, if he was to sit there and say, I'm done, I will put him in the Hall of Fame this year. Easily. Just because it's just like, bro, you just that cold. But really fun match. Part of me was thinking this was gonna be the end of Undisputed Era. Wait, no, they have been on a winning streak. Because they lost last year. They won the year before, right? So yeah, I thought they were on a streak. No, I was wrong. So yeah, so they 2-3, 3-2, 2-2 in War Game matches, I think at this point. But either way, they won. All bitches. Either way, they in almost every single one. So fun match, good match. I like the fact that they had tables that was meant for every Undisputed Era nigga, but they were used against them, which is hilarious. Bobby Fish got hurt again, but it wasn't as major. Hopefully his elbow ain't as serious as they say it is. But it was a really fun match though. Also, my favorite spot was when they had the Pat Team McAfee on the against the cage, and they were just taking turns running through them. That was hilarious. That was a very fun spot.
2 favorite spots, actually 3. When they jumped Pat McAfee and they just started the undisputed era stomp. It should be a thing, okay? Like, you know how the dude that got the unicorn stomp and they take turns doing a little across the ring?
Yeah.
The undisputed era, you got caught lacking in Chicago, you actually responded to it. Hey, check it out. Stomp.
Priceless. Priceless.
Yes. Okay. When that nigga Pete Dunne flipped Adam Cole in the fucking air and landed on that chair,
he did.
That nigga was in the sky, bro. No, which way was it? Let me ask you.
That was towards the end of the part. That was towards the end of the match. Where literally because I was sitting there thinking like, oh, they about to lose after that. I'm like, gee, nobody just flips a nigga into the chair like that and they win.
You hear me? Y'all hear me? Hold on, I'm about to ask you right now. Hold on. Which one at the end of the War Games match? Which one got flipped in the air and landed on the chuck? He was just in the fucking air.
That was Adam Cole. He should have been dead.
Oh, it was Adam Cole. It was Adam Cole. Yeah, it was Adam Cole. All right, that's all I need. Bro, and then after Adam Cole got flipped on that chair, that nigga Roger Strong sent Pete Dunne to orbit with that backbreaker float. I don't know how strong you gotta be to physically lift another grown man in the fucking air until he's off the fucking screen, and then he comes back down on your kneecaps. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, that whole the whole sequence to end the match was just like, oh, okay, we lit. So that was definitely
Kyle O'Reilly the pin at the end is bravo, because he has been the Undisputed Era MVP during this feud and before that. When he was going for the belt, he had a little title match against
Finn. Oh wait, before that, or before Finn, or
with Finn. He had one with Finn. Reason Finn not in that because he broke fucking Finn's jaw. Just some hardcore shit. I think Kyle O'Reilly is gonna be big as hell on the main roster. So
definitely agree.
I think he's gonna be big.
Yeah, he's definitely that guy. But really,
he got some heroes on the way. So if I run to the door,
hey, it be that way, man. Look, it's heroes. Get the mild sauce in your veins. But really good overall. Good NXT takeover from start to finish. One day we're going to rank takeovers. That's going to be a fun experience, but really fun takeover, really solid War Games matches. I'm not going to say they're the best ones, but solid, really solid. So, but let's go ahead, move on to the NBA. A lot has happened in the NBA, but let's go ahead and talk about and we're also going to talk about predict the Easter Conference and shit too. So that's going to be fun in his own aspect. But Anthony Davis has officially signed his contract with the Lakers. It happened right after we recorded last week, which I knew was going to come either way. But AD is going to be a Laker for the long term, for 5 years. Signed a 5-year contract with the Lakers. Shocked a lot of people because I think we all said, especially after the Lakers won, that it's probably going to be a 1+1 or a 2+1 type deal. But he said, hey, give me that 5 years with the player option at 4, of course. Technically 4 years. But
it's not a what's that nigga name? What's the Clutch Sports nigga name?
Clutch Sports nigga? Clutch Sports.
The agent.
Rich Paul.
The nigga people care for some period.
Rich Paul.
Yeah. It's not a Rich Paul contract unless you get a player option in the year before. Nigga, out of all his people that he got a contract this year, name one that didn't get a player option.
I think almost everybody got a player option. At least all the major ones got a player option. I think all the major players get player options now.
And Bron, I don't think Bron extension, he didn't get one either.
No, Bron didn't. I think for Bron, he just want to outright be a free agent when his son enters the league. So I guess he wants to have that power, which I understand. But I was just shocked that Rich Paul said, "Hey, we're going to maximize his money," because like, hey, bro, we ain't gonna get paid that much. Only 190 million. We get you a little more if you wait a couple years, because once the fans get back. But I guess, and I respect AD for realizing this, and he mentioned it when he signed this. When they were talking about the deal, he said outright, "Look, I know I'm not the most durable player, so I need this longevity. So fuck the money. I'm in LA. I'm with Nike. I'm gonna get my money either way. So I respect him for realizing like, hey, fuck the money. Let me get the longevity." And also the fact that it must be something that Rob Pelinka's doing or told him and Brian about a plan. Where it's like, hey, I'll be here. I don't know what you got planned, but I'll be here. You clearly know something. So shout out to the Lakers. If I'm a Lakers fan, you should be happy right now. Very happy. I know you guys are ecstatic on Twitter, but I'm sure you guys are ecstatic at how things is going for you guys right now. I'm happy for AD for picking the long term option, because like you're in LA, you're going to get bread either way, and plus you're a Nike athlete. LeBron is eventually going to find a way to get you a damn signature shoe.
Apparently, he already got a pair.
It's probably
apparently because he went on weird ass shoes at they practice, and it wasn't no Kobe's. So apparently, he probably got a signature shoe. It just ain't get revealed yet. Trae Young getting a pair though.
Yeah, look, we worked for Adidas. We know they would give anybody a signature shoe.
Shit, Karl-Anthony Towns and not Karl-Anthony Towns. Joel Embiid didn't get one when he was there.
Embiid should have got one. That's why he left. He was like, "Why you get all the guard shit?"
They told Andrew Wiggins you getting this fucking crazy bounce. Whatever.
Bro, Andrew Wiggins get exclusive colorways. G. He was getting exclusive colorways. You telling me Embiid could get exclusive colorways, G? Like, G, I was like, come on, man. Like, come on, bro. Embiid should have been their biggest star. And literally, Muggs will argue. That's why I was mad when I missed out talking to the NBA niggas. I'm like, why the hell does Embiid not have a shoe? Why? He's literally a top 10 player. He's a face, one of the faces in the league in terms of just like people just think of him. In terms of just like he's a personality, he should have got a signature shoe. In fact, he had to go to Under Armour to get a signature shoe. Sucks. That shouldn't be right. Going to Under Armour is wrong. It's wrong in every way, because they're gonna be some swaggerless ass shoes. Because nobody rocks Steph Curry's except little white boys. It be that way. But back to the point. So shout out to AD. He's getting paid. Lakers got a plan for the long term. Also, shout out to LeVar Ball. He did the impossible. The impossible to y'all. Y'all told that man he couldn't do it, but he got all three of his sons in the league, man. Even though LiAngelo is the most middest of the two brothers. LiAngelo got signed to the Pistons for 1 year, but LeVar did that thing. He got all three. He told y'all he was going to do it, and he did that shit. So shout out to LeVar Ball for doing that. Anything else before we talk about James Harden pretty much just not giving a damn? I think that's it. So James Harden versus the Rockets is a real ass thing right now. So with that being said, how can I explain this? So training camp started last week, technically Sunday for most teams. You were supposed to report to your team practice facility, I think last week, some point at the end of last week, and training camp started. James Harden's nowhere to be found for the Rockets. Nowhere to be found. It be that way sometimes. But to him. And I'm gonna just get my personal feelings to the side. You did the black man bogus. Cause literally you let them white people ask Steven Silas, "Hey, we're hard on that." And that man was sitting like, "I don't know what you want me to tell y'all. He not here at all. Help." Harden was literally out here partying with Lil Baby on his birthday with no mask. He was in strip clubs with no mask. Nigga was super spreader. He had super spreader vibes, and y'all sitting there thinking That shit was cool. Now Harden, I know for a fact that he wants to get traded. We all do. But he still got to remember that he doesn't have that much leverage. Like, yeah, you are a superstar, but you don't have as much leverage as you think you do. AD had leverage. That was like he legit had leverage because the Pelicans were not good. The Rockets is still a good team, especially with Harden on there. As currently constructed, they're still a pretty solid team. It's like literally still gonna be at the very worst a 7-6 seed, which is where they were at last year. So to the Rockets, it's like, no, we're just not going to give up yet. You still got 2-3 years with us. Fuck you. And plus, well, if we're going to send you anywhere, it's going to be for a young all-star level player. Brooklyn does not have that unless they're going to give us Kyrie goddamn Irving. Karis LeVert is good, but he ain't no all-star. Maybe in the East, but not in the West. At least like a clear-cut all-star, let's put it that way. So, once again, it goes back to, and I was talking to Tyler about this, you can sit there and say you don't want to be there, even though he has reported, by the way. The Rockets could still send you to goddamn Sacramento for Marvin Bagley and De'Aaron Fox if they so please. If they so please. They could send you to New Orleans for Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball if they so please. They could send you to Minnesota for Cat and Anthony Edwards if they so please. So there's places, or once again Philly, which is probably the perfect word for them for Ben Simmons, if they so please. So I understand the whole world like, oh yeah, he's going to Brooklyn now. Brooklyn is not going to be the place because you may want to go there, but they don't have what you think Brooklyn wants. And also another thing, at this point, teams are not going to try to make no trade like that for a superstar where you're going to lose your entire roster right in the midst, right after free agency is dead and over with. Because you're not going to be able to make up a roster that is competitive of others. So Brooklyn's out the picture. James Harden is a good thing you reported, but my nigga, you kind of, if you was going to push this agenda, you should have pushed it a lot earlier in the summertime. Or at least earlier in the off season. Instead of like 2 weeks beforehand. So that's my agenda with Harden. Like I get you one out, but you could have did this a lot better. Especially when y'all here partying and shit. Like nigga. Super spreader vibes, my nigga.
Yeah, Harden. I gotta check on this food. Harden is a special character in my eyes. I think it's stupid. Whatever the heck is going on. I honestly, personally, wish that leverage in the NBA is such a weird thing, right? Because at the end of the day, players change as franchises. You can do all you want, moving pieces. You put James Harden on that Warriors team that went 7-3-9, they still don't win a championship. You put Warriors on that team beforehand, James Harden on that team beforehand that won the championship, they still don't win a championship. Because of the reason, they probably don't even get that far. Because of, listen to what I'm saying.
Wait, are you switching Steph Curry and James Harden off team?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm saying that James Harden, Steph Curry is the reason that franchise is successful. Now, James Harden is the reason that the Rockets are successful. It's a clear-cut reason. You can point out in playoff games, point out in that. I got to text him this. There's a, hold on real quick, Chris.
Go ahead. Why are you texting though?
Here you go. I got it. But there's players that change his franchise. James Harden is a player that needs a KD. He can't be the best player on the team. He is fantastic. He is one of the greatest scorers of all time. It just comes down to, like, AD ain't going to be successful without Bron. AD knows this. While Bron is still somewhere in his prime, AD is going to be with Bron. They complement each other well. Pick and rolls, even though they didn't use it as much as they should have, unstoppable. Bron making sure AD get his shots, same thing as Rondo, stuff like that. You need those all-time greats to win a championship. So in this case of leverage, I think Harden does have it all. Because with Houston, John Wall, because that ain't winning shit. That's not even the third seed team.
No.
So why waste the rest of my prime here?
Which I understand.
With Houston, you look at it as we sell tickets, we good? James Harden, he's our market right now as a but how long that's gonna be? Because you don't want out the Westbrook crowd, so that shit went like this for OKC. Even with Paul George around. It wasn't the same thing without KD there. You didn't have that. Nobody thought Westbrook and PG was gonna win shit. So, me personally, I don't know what happened. I think it's a pussy move if he do fucking leave. I think it's a real pussy move. I think it, but I understand because Houston serves no purpose anymore. I don't even count this bubble yet, because you weren't going to go past the fucking Lakers anyway. That team constructed, you won beating the Lakers.
Especially after you went 7 against OKC. Which even though OKC's showed a lot of heart and effort, I just, no.
So you went on with it, but the years before that, getting this close against the Warriors, couldn't beat a team with a fucking injured, halfway injured KD, and who won in that game too? Iggy wasn't even there. You know what I'm saying? The year before that, you had to control. Even though was the year before that is when Chris Paul got injured?
Yeah, Chris Paul hammy exploded in the crazy Game 6 that Game 6 was legendary. No, it was Game 5 or Game 6. I don't remember. Harden had 2 tries to beat them. It was Game 5 where CP3 played his ass off, and you had 2 chances to literally beat the Warriors. And then, honestly, in Game 7, you had a lead. Now let's look at this. I'm not even going to use Steph, right? Because you can show Steph 3-1 loss. You can say Steph could have lost them 2-2, right? Even though I don't believe it. Let's look at it like this. If Bron was in that same spot that Harden was in, would he get past that Warriors team? If he was like on the Rockets, you put James Harden, swap him. You put Bron in that spot. With Chris, well, yeah. I think LeBron, if LeBron just needs 2 games, like if LeBron has a lead and he only needs 2 games to beat you, LeBron's probably going to win one of those games. He's going to win one of them. You put KD in that spot. KD's winning one of those games. It takes a certain level of greatness that James Harden don't have. Greatness is beyond skill set. Greatness is a mentality. Mm-hmm. Greatness is how you play. Greatness is something that when you look at certain players on the court, you see that they have, right? You can be Greek Freak and average the highest PER of all time. You can be James Harden averaging being a scoring leader for 3 times in a row. But when you look at them, you don't see greatness. When you look at KD, what you see? Greatness. When you look at Bron, what you see? Greatness. When you look at fucking Kobe, what you see? Great. A legend. Greatness. The fucking Mamba. Greatness is, the nigga was injured for a whole year and people still want to see him in the All-Star game. That's fucking greatness.
That he had to tell niggas, I can't even do it. My Achilles is still on the court as we speak. That's greatness. What if James Harden had that greatness, he ought to be a champion. But he needs somebody on that team with that. Now, if Brooklyn sold that whole entire fucking hall to get him, no, they're not winning the chip. I don't even think they get out the East, right? Just won't happen. I think they moved to the playoffs off the strength of KD just better than everybody there. But a team like Miami, who's fully decked out, know each other, chemistry built, had a deep playoff run, hell no. I think Greek Freaky would get them niggas some go, right? But KD ain't got
nobody
that.
to stop him. You have nobody to stop him. Plus, Drew Holiday is gonna give somebody hell. So
you go to Philly. You can't. The Rockets would be dumb as shit to ask for Ben Simmons, because now you got a dead ass John Wall contract because he can't shoot. I don't know what Rockets fans fucking thought that this is an upgrade for Westbrook.
it's not that huge of an upgrade. It's a very obvious downgrade. It's a very obvious downgrade.
Extremely obvious downgrade. This nigga John Wall barely sniffed the conference finals. Westbrook been there. This nigga John Wall has not been in the top 5 MVP race. Russell's MVP. This nigga John Wall has never been a scoring champion. Russell's a scoring champion. This nigga John Wall was in the East his whole career. Is still not a top 10 player in that Eastern Conference. Probably when he was prime, but still not a top 10 player in that Eastern Conference. We can argue that. We can argue that another day. I can be wrong another day.
Very wrong.
He ain't Russell Westbrook. He's not even a. Is he even a top 10 point guard?
Not
right now. Hell no.
No, not now. No, not now.
4 years ago.
3 years ago. 3-4 years. Yeah,
3 years ago?
Right. Yeah, because he's been
top 10? No.
3-4
top
years
10?
ago?
No.
3-4 years ago? He is top 10 point guard 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Gee.
Right before he fucked his leg up.
Before he fucked his leg up, he was arguably top 5. Easily top 5, matter of fact. He'll be 5.
We can talk about that we can talk about that when we do an in-depth of reason why the fucking Rockets are 0-10. But when you look at what's going on, in my eyes, I hope this Uber driver is okay. The fuck is going on? Is this nigga good? Please don't eat my food, bro. I'm waiting on this thing. I got the mixed combo. There's some fish in that shit, bro. I'm ready to smash, fool. But I would say this. James Harden needs to leave Houston, and it would be better for both of them.
Yeah.
This is what I think. That max contract is the fucking deadliest thing in the league right now, bro. Damn if you do, and damn if you don't. Because no matter what, that player is going to get that money. You can prolong it. You can trade him to fucking Nova Scotia. That player is going to get that fucking money.
Either way,
he can make that money and say, I don't want to be here no more. Out loud to the public. And probably only get fined $50,000. But guess what? The ball is in his court still. It's a push move. You're not going to be right to right league, probably. Your teammates probably going to want to kill you, like Jay Crowder did when Brian traded that nigga. But there is such a bad. It's not bad because niggas getting their bread that they deserve because they are the top of their class. They are top class athletes. But when you look at things like Tobias Harris, when you look at things like John Wall, when you look at things like probably on the Russell Westbrook spectrum too, you just get all this fucking money that you can't do shit with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. There's literally 2 teams that he can go to that will bet off his career, and both of those teams will get significantly worse if he goes to that team.
Mm-hmm.
The team he on now is a 6 seed waiting to happen. Maybe. What do you do? If you use the Rockets, do you ride it out and pray this nigga don't catch COVID on purpose?
If
You have a player who don't want to be there? You can't. There's every major free agent is gone for the foreseeable future. Don't care about the biggest free agent next year is Greek Freak. James Harden don't like Greek Freak.
No, Greek Freak, Kawhi, and Paul George. It's Greek Freak, Kawhi, and Paul George too. They signed 2-year contracts.
Send him to the Clippers.
Which makes sense. Makes all the sense.
Paul George straight up.
Makes all the sense in the world. Makes all the sense in the world. But also the Clippers don't have no more picks.
Over John Wall, you might be a 15.
Yeah, you're staying where you at pretty much. Ain't no big of a difference. You're staying where you at. I agree. Like, I ain't mad at that. Clippers make sense too, and it fixed 2 of their problems. You have a legit scorer, whether Kawhi's on the court or not, and you got a playmaker. I'm cool with that. But I don't think the Clippers want to do that as well. I don't know why, but it'll make the most sense in the world. But I get where you come from. Like, the Rockets still, like, I get where you come from. Harden does have all the power, and the Rockets could literally outright say, we don't care if you're unhappy until we see an offer where
it's a division. It's kind of like it's kind of like the talk between, even though I'm right, it's kind of like the talk we always have between Patrick Ewing and Isaiah Thomas. Even though Trell's right, it's some sads that Chris bring up that's true. Even though I'm completely right, it's the sads that you bring up too. You want to know what's crazy when you speak on greatness? You know, that separates the. Think about this. Magic Johnson got 5 chips. How many finals MVPs he got?
I think he got 2 because I think him.
But you cannot tell me he is not the greatest point guard to ever live.
Easily. Yeah, we know that.
That's greatness, bro. How many? Steph Curry got 3 chips. How many finals MVPs he got?
0. 2 because of KD.
And you can't tell me he ain't the second best point guard to ever live.
Easily. No argument.
Until Harden gets to that level, he has no leverage on the I'm the big star role. But in terms of the money that he has, the situation that he's in, the situation that the Rockets as a team is in, the Rockets should be like, yeah, we holding on to you. But then you know what fixes this? Harden talks to the media. That's the thing that's missing. If he sit down with the media and say, I just want to play basketball, this would be the best thing to happen for both sides. You get a player who's probably disgruntled, but he's still going to play ball. And James Harden doesn't seem such a bitch, even though nobody should care about that, right? But if you talk to the media and say, I want something new, then you should know, all right, let's get these trade packages going. More teams to throw more at you, he'll be a New York Knicks in no time. If he say, I want to be a Houston Rocket, that opens up for you to even make more things. Shit, you could probably trade John Wall for Paul George. I don't think Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are about to last that fucking long. Who knows? Especially when Paul George talking shit about a coach, and you're the one who almost missed the backboard. So, like, it's man, I don't know, bro. That is the biggest dilemma in the league right now, bro. Other than the fact that he wants to go to a team that's going to primarily be succeeding off iso ball. That's something different. But it's weird, man. It's weird.
It's a weird, nasty situation. It's just at this point, he's there for the season, especially if he's pushing. Like, I know he says he's open to other contenders, but like if I'm a other contender, it's like, yo, this nigga literally was out here in strip clubs and going to little baby birthday party, my nigga, when he should have been in training camp.
Other contenders. Go to the Heat, you lose, bam. Dumb decision. Other contenders. Go to Boston is the best part, most likely, but you're in a racist city, and
ain't no strip
Jason Tatum might decline with him not getting the ball in his hand, right? But that's the best. That's one contender that'll work out. Philly is a shitstorm waiting to happen. Brooklyn, I don't even think they contenders, but hey, it's KD. Shit won't work because you're giving up too much. Lakers not taking you. Clippers probably won't take you. The Nuggets will mess up their core because you got to give up Jamal Murray and probably some other stuff. Who's another contender? The Warriors.
The Warriors
could work.
It could work.
But then you're giving up Clay contract, and that's breaking up the Splash Brothers for good.
Which is a bonus because, gee, even though Clay's going to be good. Okay, Clay's going to be good, but he's literally going to become literally JJ Redick with solid at best defense for $200 million. That's a bonus. You can turn that contract to James Harden. And I love Clay.
But you still breaking up the clock. You still breaking up the Splash Brothers.
Still breaking up the Splash Brothers, but hey, your championship window opens back up.
Your championship window closed anyway. Okay, now see this one is cap. Now you're talking cap. Because championship window open up. Because if you take playoff and you replace him with James Harden, you might score 30 more points, but you're still down by 15. Like, you look at the contenders, you're not matching up with size. Every contender has size on the Heat has size. Duncan Robinson tall as shit. Bam Adebayo is a fucking point center. He's a point center.
Yeah.
And he can stretch the floor if he want to.
No, he don't stretch. He don't stretch.
He can't stretch the floor.
He didn't shoot a three at all during the finals.
Different time for different situations. And AD looking you in the face. And your shoulder fuck.
Gee, he didn't shoot at all in the finals. That's why I'm like, he don't have no jump shot. I'm positive he don't. I'm pretty positive he don't shoot. Pretty damn positive. That's why they had Jake Crowder start at power forward to stretch the floor. And Duncan Robinson.
Anyway, it don't work with the Warriors. Even though the Warriors fans, for some apparent reason, will love James Harden again, even though they hate that man guts.
I don't know why that fan base hates niggas that they beat. That's so weird to me. I don't get that. They hate niggas that they beat. They hate Bron. You beat him 2-3 times. You hate James Harden. You wipe the floor with him consistently for half the decade. I don't get that fan base.
They literally hate niggas they beat, bro. That is so weird.
Gee, I don't get that fan base. Why? If you're a Warriors fan, listen to this podcast. Please DM us at Threes for the Ring and explain to us, or even comment, why do you hate niggas that y'all have beaten? Y'all beat Bron 3 times in the finals. Yes, I understand LeBron. LeBron's going to get all the love in the world because he's freaking LeBron. But y'all hate the floor that man walks on. Y'all hate James Harden. Gee, y'all whooped him all half of this decade, the past decade. I don't get it. I just don't. I understand why y'all hate Russ, because some people will argue that Russ is better than Steph. That I understand. That I genuinely do understand. But I just don't understand that at all about that fan base. That's a weird trait about that fan base. But yeah, let's hurry move on with the Rockets so we can do our Eastern Conference predictions. Because Cyberpunk comes out in 48 minutes.
How many minutes?
48 minutes.
Fuck with James Harden. Eastern Conference predictions.
All right, cool. So, let me pull up the Eastern Conference. So, we're going to do the Eastern Conference first on this podcast. Then next week, we're going to do the Western Conference. So, that way, we'll be done right before Christmas. But, shout out to the East. I know I did make one of the outrageous hot takes of last few months ago when I said the East was competitive than the West. I still feel in some aspects yes, but if you remove the Lakers clearly for the Western Conference, I don't think it's that big of a difference. But I'm standing by that, and I ain't gonna go nowhere about it.
So shitty. That's like saying if you remove John Jones' elbow, he ain't gonna be the best. That's shitty. You just said the same thing for the fucking. You just said the same thing for the fucking the Heat. That's shitty. Oh hell no! Listen. Real quick, so we get to this. You told me the Warriors having a what?
Oh, the Warriors.
You told me they're having a what?
What about the Warriors? Wait, what about the Warriors? I can't hear you.
You said they're having a what type season before the Clay?
I said the revenge tour is canceled because Clay gone.
No, you said they was having a revenge tour. That's one. The Clippers ain't going nowhere. The Lakers ain't going nowhere. The Nuggets got a chip on the shoulder. Luka Doncic's gonna be MVP. Do I have to keep going? Chris Paul is with goddamn Devin Booker. They gonna be there. The Jazz is still the fucking Jazz. Now let's go over East. Philly. Maybe Brooklyn. Milwaukee. The Raptors just lost Marc Gasol, so I'm gonna do a half finger. Boston.
You named 6 West teams. You just named 6 East teams.
I can throw another West team in there.
You could throw Portland in there.
Timberwolves. Portland. Timberwolves. Cat. D'Lo.
I
Fuck else is on that team?
I consider the Timberwolves the equivalent of the damn Hawks in terms of we got talent, but niggas just don't get it together.
Fucking wager. Let's do a wager.
All right.
If the Timberwolves don't make the AC, if the Timberwolves make the AC at work, whenever the fuck this happens, I probably still won't be working and you probably won't be working out. I don't care. You have to wear dress pants. No matter where you work, you have to wear dress pants. And I'm not talking about no cool. You have to wear. I would challenge you to go to your father's closet and pick a pair of his dress pants.
Those are all gone. We got rid of them joints, G.
Okay. Find your brother. Y'all the same size. What are his pants? His dress pants or something. I don't want to see no cool. Nothing fitted. Be like our new assistant administrator. Nothing fitted. Dress pants. You can wear a t-shirt with it. You can wear a dress shirt to match. I don't care. Dress pants. You can wear your Yeezys too. Dress pants to work. If they do, that's if they do make the HC. If they don't, I probably won't be working there. But you know I hate dress clothes. I'm gonna wear a full-blown dress fit to wherever I work. I don't have to tell my manager, let that be approved. Full-blown dress fit. Timberwolves gonna be the HC.
Okay.
Now, in the middle of the season, I will back out if they nowhere near it. I will back out of this bet. Back the fuck out of it. And tell you everything that you're saying right now is a cap. I would die on that hill with no problem. But we will never have to go there. Because the Timberwolves will be the AC.
I don't think they
on the back of Carl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell.
I don't think they're going to be the AC.
I might be capping. It might not be the AC.
It's a huge cap.
But the Pelicans are still here too. I don't think they're making the playoffs. But niggas think Zion is the second coming of Jesus Christ. Come on now.
Okay, you name, that's legit 7, 8, that's 8 teams. Okay, I give you that. Okay. All right. But let's go ahead, talk about the East. So, the East, I honestly feel like not much has honestly changed. Outside of, outside of who can potentially be the 8th seed, that's really the major change. Or if the Pacers just all out fall out the place of Earth, which is possible, because they got a new coach and Victor Oladipo wants to be recruited everywhere, I guess. Weirdo nigga. But he's a free agent next year, but that man probably cost us up another max. But not much has really changed in terms of the East. I think whoever made it last year, outside of the Magic, is probably getting back in. The Magic is probably getting flip-flopped, and I'm putting the Wizards in. I don't know where the Wizards will go, That's probably the huge change is where do the Wizards go? Well, I mean, what seeding they're going to be. But with Westbrook and Bradley Beal, you're a playoff team. There's some niggas, I don't know why niggas suddenly thought the Wizards is not going to be a playoff team, but gee, this team, the Wizards team was still a bubble team last year. Without Bradley Beal. I mean, with Bradley Beal, they were eligible
No,
to
they
make
make
the
the
bubble.
playoffs. You gotta think. Bradley Beal was the sole star on that team.
Literally was. Him and
With
Bertans
literally nothing else but Thomas Bryant, right?
and Rui Hachimura.
That's your nigga. I'm not. You got Westbrook, who's going to get you there. Probably can have another MVP caliber season if he wants to be full blown ball dominant Westbrook. But hopefully, him and Bradley Beal can
I think they'll
coexist.
I think they'll mesh a lot better. Like Bradley Beal doesn't. He can be ball dominant, but he's not extremely ball dominant. He had no choice to be ball dominant this past season.
So you got that. You got that rookie. What is his name? Divinci.
Oh yeah, they do got
IG.
that Italy. I don't even know where he's from. That Italy ass nigga, but he's going to be.
He
solid.
should be cold.
He should be solid.
So you got that. It's a better team.
It's a way better team. It's just people just haven't watched the Wizards. This goes back to, like, once again, if you niggas don't have League Pass, don't fucking talk to me. And don't just sit there and say, well, I only use League Pass to watch the Lakers, because so do I. But at the same time, the Wizards play East to East. The Lakers don't come on to 10 o'clock our time. So, you niggas not always watching the Lakers on League Pass. And matter of fact, the Lakers is not going to be much of a League Pass team, because guess the fuck what? They are going to be on ESPN and TNT majority of the time. But anyway, League Pass, you go easily watch some of these teams.
And did somebody get shot with a damn Ryan?
Again.
Because my Uber driver is just fucking sitting here, bro. And I know he's just not chilling on the damn Ryan eating some arrows. Because I will find him. I will murder him.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, like the Wizards overall have a better team. Like Westbrook is a huge upgrade. Whoever was the point guard last year was probably Ish Smith. No, it wasn't Ish Smith. I don't even know who the hell was they point guard last year. This is a huge upgrade. Bradley Beal is healthy, should be and motivated because you got a point guard finally and somebody I think who can trust in Westbrook. And then you have whoever buddy, the dude they drafted, he's probably gonna be the starter small forward. If not, he's probably gonna come off the bench. I don't know. Unless you start David Bertans, I don't know if you want to stretch the floor. But either way, then Rui Hachimura is probably starting at the four.
He's really good too. He's really good.
Yeah, Bertans I think was the best shooter in terms of percentage this year, and he got a bunch of money, so he's probably going to start. But Rui Hachimura at the 4, and then you had Thomas Bryant at the 5, and then either Bertans or their rookies coming off the bench. So, and whoever was the point guard last year. But you have a respectable team to make the playoffs in the East. Westbrook is a huge upgrade. No matter how you feel about him, he's an upgrade. Just don't tell that nigga to shoot. That's all you just tell him, don't shoot. But Westbrook is a huge upgrade. That makes you a playoff team in the East. Like you have to be a huge ass hater not to believe that. Especially since the Magic don't have Jonathan Isaac. I don't see Jonathan Isaac is not coming back. They've been trying to trade Aaron Gordon for years. So I don't even know what the Magic want to do. And plus, Mo Bamba and Vucevic been fighting for that center spot for the past 2 years. So they don't even have that consistently going. So I don't see.
I don't think it's a fight.
Yeah, it's not a fight. It's really not a fight.
Vucevic is better.
Yeah, Vucevic is better. Easily. But 1 through 8, but in terms of the 8 teams that's making the playoffs in the East is literally obvious. If there is going to be a legit fight, it is probably just going to be, unless the Pistons be better than I think they're going to be, and that falls on the lines of Blake Griffin being healthy above all, then they may be talking for a fight to be in the AFC, and maybe the Hawks, if chemistry-wise they all make it work, because you just don't get Bogdan and Rondo and you're not fighting for the AFC as well. So in terms of talent, the Hawks should be talking. The Pistons should be talking if healthy. And I'm going to give the Hornets some rub. But I think it's the Wizards the Wizards should make the playoffs easily. If the only other team that may fall out outside the Magic is the Pacers, and I think that solely depends on health and just how they react to a new coach, who they didn't even need a new coach in the first place. But yeah, that's how I view the eighth or seventh seed battle. But Brooklyn, let's go ahead, since they're the most popular team. I believe they're probably going to be the 2-3. My first seed is going to be the Bucks. Like, fuck that. The Bucks, I don't see no reason for them to not be the first seed again. Mike Budenholzer teams like being the first seed in their conference. They're gonna. You have Drew Holiday, who's a huge upgrade from Eric Bledsoe. He can score. He can be your number 2 or number 3 option, depending on what you want him to be. But regardless, he can guard any nigga that they need him to guard, and that's an upgrade in itself. Because I still don't believe Eric Bledsoe was an all defense caliber point guard. That is the hugest piece of cap the past 2 seasons, and I need them to stop with that shit, G. That nigga was not all defense, because he wasn't even on the court at times for me to know he was all defense. Once again, check the archives. Who did Eric Bledsoe lock up? But that man is not all defense, but Drew Holiday is legit all defense. You could throw Drew Holiday at any premier perimeter player, and he's going to at least give them hell. At the very least, they may still do their thing, but it's going to be a nasty, damn, they did their thing, but Drew Holiday was giving that nigga drugs. So I think the Bucks are still going to be the first seed. Giannis is going to still be Giannis. I feel like there's going to be some improvement out of him. My number 2 seed is going to be Boston. Like I said, they coming back. You pretty much have players who kind of know their roles now. Tristan Thompson's a huge upgrade at center from Daniel Theus. If you plan on starting Marcus Smart, you can. Well, I think he's going to start the season either way because Kemba's hurt. But I think they're still going to be good enough to be the number 2 seed. Brooklyn's going to be the number 3 seed, primarily because of health. And the question mark is KD. They could be number 1. If KD is KD, they're number 1. If not, then I don't see that happening. But yeah. So then, that was my number 4 seed, and once again, my is going to be the Heat. Primarily because they're literally the same team, championship experience. They may have a hangover, so it depends on how they start the season. But I think overall they should be a solid team. Be the number 4 seed. Then I'm putting Philly at 5, Raptors at 6, the Wizards at 7, and my 8th seed is going to honestly be I'm gonna give it to the Pacers for the time being. I'm giving it to the Pacers. But so yeah, that's my Eastern Conference right now.
Mine is similar to yours, but instead I got the Heat at 1. Did you say the Raptors?
Yeah, I said they're gonna be the 6th seed. I think they're gonna have a drop off. Losing 2.
Heat at 1.
Yeah.
Milwaukee either 2 or 3, depending on the Giannis situation. 2 or 3. I don't think they'd be the. So it's between Milwaukee and Heat at 1, right? I think the Heat chip on their shoulder type stuff. I can believe it. I know what you mean about the hangover, but me personally, I don't think they're gonna have a hangover. I think they want to be that destination for a top free agent. So let's play our ass off. So Boston 3, 4, Brooklyn 5, Philly 6, Raptors. That's 7 through 8. I'm getting shit. Indiana and the Magic, because the Magic always does something. So shit. 7. Let's go 7. Washington 8. Indy.
Okay. Like I said, I ain't mad at it. That's but the battle for the 8th seeds could be literally anybody. Like, it could be Pacers, it could be the damn Hornets, it could be the Hawks. in the Pistons. It could be any, and I'm still gonna kind of throw the Magic in there, but I think the Magic gonna have a reality check moment. And plus, I believe finally they're gonna probably. This might sound wild, but I see Vukovic getting traded. Finally, Vukovic might get traded, and Aaron Gordon finally gets traded. It's gonna be two separate deals, but I think, and also just throw Evan Fournier. I think Evan Fournier finally gets traded. So that's like 2-3 dudes who literally stay on that roster for no goofy reason. I think it's finally time for them to go. But I'm looking forward to the East. The East is gonna be really fun to see. They do have in terms of league pass teams, I think they have some of the most interesting teams that's trash as hell to watch on league pass. I am gonna watch the Bulls more because.
Oh shit! You don't think Atlanta makes the playoffs?
I said they're gonna be if they could, they're gonna be in fighting for the 8th seed. Once again, it does. The one thing that helps is they doing the play-in games as well. So just because you got the 7th, 8th seed, don't mean you're making the playoffs. As long as you in the 7, 8, 9, 10 talk, you can make the playoffs. So I'm putting the Hawks in that conversation of being like that 10, 9, 8 area. So like if there was an opportunity for a play-in game, I could see the Hawks honestly winning. You have the vets to do it, to make it work. You got Rondo, Trae Young, Trae Young. I like the fact they got Bogdanovich, and all of that. So like they have players. I'm like, okay, I could trust them to make the playoffs, and they're gonna be a fun team to watch on League Pass as well. Like I'm probably gonna watch a lot more Hawks games. The Bulls I don't see making the playoffs at all. But if you have League Pass, make sure you watch the Bulls, because I think they're gonna be a fun team to watch as well. Especially because they actually have coaching.
That's cap, but continue.
Hey, look, man, Zach LaVine gonna dunk on niggas, and niggas gonna dunk on Zach LaVine back. It's gonna be fun to see. So like they have a team of young people you want to at least watch to see, and hopefully Otto Porter is out of my community. I have been a super spreader, sick freak. But yeah, the Bulls it's like a team to watch. The Hornets I think is definitely gonna be a fun team to watch. Like a lot of the ass teams in the East is gonna be fun to watch because they're young. So like the Hornets are gonna be fun to see. Especially since they got Gordon Hayward who's still in checks, but I want to see what the Hornets do. They might be fake competitive in a sense as well. So like the East, the bottom portion of the East is ass, but they got teams you can sit there and be like, you know what? It's freaking 7:00. Let me go ahead. Let me flip on and watch the Hornets get their ass whooped again, or supposedly get their ass whooped against the the Heat or something. It might be a fun game to watch Devontae Graham or something like that do his thing.
Just fucking put the torture right.
Still, fun to see. It'd be fun to see. Like, you sit there and be like, oh, damn, the Hornets ain't that bad. They bad, but they not that bad. You know, shit like that. So, stuff like that. Like, the bottom portion of these got fun young teams to look at. The worst team in this whole damn conference is Cleveland by a long shot. Cleveland might arguably be the worst team in this conference. And once again, I feel bad for Kevin Love. But I don't think he wants to get traded. And if you was to trade Kevin Love, where are you sending? Where do you send him? Or what winning? I ain't even gonna sit and say a contender. What winning team will want Kevin Love? Or needs a Kevin Love?
I don't know.
Exactly. Fucking exactly. Like, there's really no place to really send him. Philly makes sense. If Tobias Harris just isn't working, you could flip him for Kevin Love. Especially if Kevin Love, like, if Tobias Harris at the 4 isn't working, you could literally get Kevin Love for Tobias Harris and the contracts work out. And I think it also helps with if things are working out with Ben Simmons and Embiid, and Tobias Harris is the one that's looking ass out, I will flip Tobias Harris for Kevin Love. That will help Philly out in the sense of, like, you just got somebody who just wants to shoot threes and rebound. And he's protected on defense because he's with Ben Simmons and Embiid as well. So he's not going to get compromised as much on defense. Uh, who else will need a Kevin Love or want a Kevin Love? It's not a lot of teams.
Yeah, I don't know, nigga. I don't know.
I just feel
This
bad for
shit
Kevin
Kevin
Love
Love is weird.
because literally that, and I feel bad for Andre Drummond. Shit, it sucks. I feel
Andre
bad.
Drummond could have made a lot of teams better. Andre Drummond could have made the Warriors crazy.
Easily, but
The Warriors crazy.
that's. Did you look at the Warriors luxury tax thing?
I don't understand that shit, but I bet it's outrageous.
Okay, they're number one at 241 million. The next closest team is in second place. I forgot what team it was. I think theirs is just 71 million. That's a huge ass. That's more than double. Because I think that you have Draymond has $100 million. Steph has a supermax. Clay has a supermax. Wiggins has a max. I think Kelly Oubre got his rookie extension, and his was decent. He's not 100 mil, but he has money. Somebody else on that team, yeah. So like, literally, you have like 4 or 5 players making $100 million. Exactly.
Ugh.
That's why they luxury tax is so nasty. And like they were lucky to Kelly Oubre because of that Iggy's trade exception from last year. So that helped save them a lot. But overall it's just they in a really, really nasty situation. So I don't even think Drummond going there because he opted in. So like in his last year like $30-something million. So that ain't gonna really help. Who else would Drummond? I just feel bad because literally they just gonna be on the ass. They gonna be on some ass teams, bro. Watching Colin Sexton dribble the ball out. At least Andre Drummond's gonna get a lot of offensive rebounds. So I say that's a positive. Drummond gonna get them boards. But damn, I feel bad for that man. Would you trade if you Brooklyn? Would you trade DeAndre Jordan? All right.
Maybe.
How about this? You Portland. Would you trade Nurkic for Andre Drummond?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an upgrade.
Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I think when you make moves like that I think in the NBA you gotta make the right move at the right time. I don't think that's the right move at the right time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Probably 2-3 years ago, yeah. Right now it's just like you try to compete against fucking a Lakers squad with AD. And you gotta think what moves that needle. If you're not thinking about the Lakers, then you gotta think about you trying to compete against a squad with Kyrie and KD. Do that move that needle. So if I'm any player right now, I'm taking money, including Giannis. And then just say I want the fuck out this contract my second year or some shit. But I'm taking money. Bro. Because it's one of those situations that you come in, God damn it, you come in, you'll be a part of that team, y'all fight y'all hardest, you knocked out in the second round. You end up like James Harden. So, I don't know. And then out of the franchise, you look fucking stupid. There's a lot.
True. But Drummond's on expiring. So, it's a what can we lose besides we lose Andre Drummond type situation for them. So, I get where you're coming from. But
You're right.
yeah, so it's just, if I would put in Cleveland in one of those teams where it's like, we know we're not going to get no better anytime soon. So it's like, because I know teams are going to call at least for Andre Drummond's contract. Like, he's an expiring contract. And if you need a big, if you're in the West, primarily if you're in the West, you need a center. And you need a center who can at least, there's no. I feel like going into the season, there's no such thing as stopping Anthony Davis. You at least, if you're a team in the West, you're going to pay attention to how Andre Drummond is feeling in Cleveland. You're at least going to be like, see the temperature and be like, this nigga went out or nah? Because if not, I'll make a move. It's at least somebody I could throw at Anthony Davis and Jokic as well. Especially because it's between beating Jokic and AD if you want to make your series easy as possible. There's one thing about LeBron, but if you want to beat 2 of the 3 of the top teams in the West, it involves beating Jokic and Anthony Davis. So you want to at least have a respectable body. Andre Drummond, and I don't know why some people think Andre Drummond is just big and slow. He's really not. He's still very agile for a nigga his size. So it's not like he's going to sit there and get cooked. He's not like he's not big and lumbering. He's I feel like in terms of athleticism, he's about as equal as Gobert. In terms of athleticism, it's just he's not as good as defensively. But in terms of just playing the boards, Andre Drummond can do that for you and play respectable defense. He was in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation this year, which was shocking. So it's just also you just can't have that nigga on court in the last 2 minutes. But that's a different story in itself. But let's go ahead and end this episode. Cyberpunk comes out in 20 minutes, so we gotta make sure our shit's prepped. But we appreciate you guys for listening. Of course, we doing the Western Conference next week, so be on the lookout for a lot of LeBron, Lakers standing, of course, and also we gotta talk about Paul George and his gang of shit talking, which is starting to bite him in the ass. So we'll talk about that next week. But and of course how I feel about how I truly feel about the Portland Trailblazers, because I got a hot take for that. But we appreciate you guys for listening. Much love and appreciation. Follow us on Twitter at 3s from the Ring. 3S from the Ring would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube. You know what the vibes is when it comes to that. Whatever subscription service you are, listen to this podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you give us a rank if possible as well, because all that means a lot. And also make sure you get that You Tweaking Media merch. Everything's full price right now, but prices are reasonable. Make sure you support. Get somebody a You Tweaking Media merch for Christmas, G. We got face masks, we got hoodies, and we got t-shirts, G. So make sure you cop something, especially you rocking with us. Cop something, and let us know you cop something. I'll give you a shout out as well. But we appreciate you guys for listening, and peace.